Good morning, everybody. It's been a while since I filmed last, and today I'm going to be processing some of the tomatoes that I've been picking. I already have a few on the stove. I have a few more bags somewhere, so I'm going to start by getting those. And over here, these are pumpkin spice jalapeños, but we got our fast frost about 2 days ago, and these were not ready, so I decided to freeze them. So this morning I'll put them in vacuum bags and we'll just use them as green jalapeños. So let's take our tomatoes and add them to the rest of them in the stove, and sometime later I'll do a video of what I have in my freezer. So I have my first batch of the tomatoes, and we're going to allow this to simmer and defrost, and once I have some more space I'll put the rest of them in. Let me show you all the tomatoes I still have. So when we got the frost, a lot of them were not ripe yet, so I'll show you what I'm doing to help them ripen. And well, let's get this covered. So over here and away from my coffee, this are the rest of the jalapeños that I harvested about 2 days ago, and those are the shishitos that were still left. And there's more jalapeno peppers. And then these are my yellow monster peppers. They didn't get a chance to ripen either. And that's all I got of the yellow peppers. And oh, those are miserable. That's the poblanos that were left on the plant. So that's what we are working with as far as that is concerned. So let me show you the rest of them. There we go. As you can see, my jalapeños were still not ready because I was waiting for them to turn red. But I noticed if I leave them in this box here, they're continuing to change color, which is good. So I'll just wait until they're red. And you can see the tomatoes. These were completely green when I brought them in. And I have more in there. Oh wow, that little honeydew smells really, really good. So everything in here was green a few days ago, or blushing. And as you can see, they're turning red. So I'm going to take anything that is ready and I'll get it processed today for the marinara sauce. So I'll be back when I'm ready for the next step. So I'm using the recipe from the ball canning book, and we are doing the oven roasted marinara. Since I'm only making half of this recipe, I only have 10 pounds of tomatoes, so I'm going to do a 3/4 cup of onions. Sorry about the light change. The onions are chopped, and because I'm not going to oven roast the tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead and caramelize these onions on the stove top. So I have added some salt, about a tablespoon, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. That's the oil that I'm using. So we have about 2 tablespoons in here, and we are going to caramelize the onions, and I'll be right back. So for the rest of the ingredients, we have some black pepper, and I need a tablespoon of the black pepper, some red wine. That's the red wine I'm going to be using today. I need a half a cup of that red wine, half a tablespoon of salt, half a tablespoon of the dried oregano, garlic, about 3 cloves. So I'm going to use the garlic that I have minced and frozen. Bay leaves, a 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and that's half a cup, so I need to put some back. And that's the lemon juice that I'm using. So we need a 1/4 cup of that. That's where our tomatoes are. They're almost completely defrosted. So I'll let them come to a boil, and I'll use a food mill to get rid of the tomato skins. And then I'll take those tomato skins and make tomato powder out of them later. The onions are still going. And I don't want them to brown, I just need them to caramelize. So I'm using medium-low heat. This is going to take a few minutes to caramelize. This is my last jar of the marinara sauce that I made a while back, and I'm using it with porcupine meatballs, which we made a few days ago. I used the marinara sauce to cook the meatballs. And we're going to pour on some of that marinara sauce, and I'm going to have it with some carrots that I canned a while back. I'm going to get this warmed up. The onions have started caramelizing, so I'm going to wait for them to get a little darker, and the tomatoes are no longer frozen. So I'm going to let them boil for a while so some of that liquid can evaporate. The onions are caramelized enough, and the bay leaves are soft. I'm going to put in the rest of the ingredients, and then we'll deal with the tomatoes here shortly. I'm ready to run the tomatoes through the food mill. And that's the food mill that I'm going to be using. This is going to be difficult to do with one hand, but you get the idea. And I'll be back when I'm done running them through the food mill. So I'm done running the tomatoes through the food mill, and that's what's left. And I'm going to put that in the dehydrator and turn it into tomato powder. And that's what we are working with now. And I'm going to add in the 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and we are going to allow this to simmer until it's as thick as I would like it. And I am also going to add a half a cup of the red wine. So let me do that now. Put in a 1/4 cup of the wine. And there's the other 1/4 cup. And now we'll just let this simmer until it's thick enough. So the marinara sauce is just about ready. I'll probably give it another 20 or 30 minutes, and then I'll start putting it in the jars. And before doing that, I'll have to look for the bay leaves and get them out of there. The marinara is nice and thick. And I have taken the bay leaves out, and we are ready to start jarring. And I'm going to be using 1/2 pints. We are leaving about a 1/2 inch of space. So you're going to leave right on that line. It's about a 1/2 inch. got exactly 12 half-pint jars. And now I'm going to go through and debubble each one. And this is this little spoon I normally use. And I'll have a link below if you want to get one of them. And really you can use just about anything to do the debubbling. I'm not even sure that I really need to debubble this, but I debubble just about everything just to be on the safe side. I'm going to put the lids on, and I am using the 4 jars lids, and I'll leave you a link below. Oh, what an important step. Need to wipe the rims. And I have a paper towel with some vinegar on it. Ooh, still hot. Put the lids on. And we want to get this on there. Finger tight. To get a few more of those lids, I'll be right back. And as I said, we want to get this on finger tight. And because the contents in the jar are hot, I'll be putting hot water in the canner. And I'm going to be using the Presto electric canner. We will see you at the canner. So I have my pressure canner ready to go, and I have put the water to the recommended line. Don't know if you can see that right there. And it's now time to get the jars in there. I have 12 half pints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6 in the first round and 6 in the next one. I can usually get 9 half pints in here. I was reading that I could stack them, but I've never tried that, so I'm not going to be trying that today. So 6 and 6. According to this, I'm supposed to process the jars for 40 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do, and I will see you when the first set of jars are ready. It's cooling down now. The canning is done, and I'm going to see if I can do this with one hand. We're going to open it and take the jars out. So the first thing we need to do is take this off. Then we need to open this up. And we need to twist. Oh, wait. So we turn that and lift it up. We need to move that over to the open position, and then let me see if I can move back. Open it away from my face, put that in the sink. Let's get those jars out. Here comes the first one. Here we go. Number 3. 4. 5. And there's number 6. I don't know if you can see that, but you can still see it boiling. And it is 10:45, so I'm not going to start the other 6. I'll do those in the morning, and I will end the video here because you have seen the full process from start to finish. And tomorrow, I don't know if you can see that they're still bubbling at the top. Anyway, tomorrow I'll do the other 6, and I'll probably just put in a picture of all 12. And that's how you can marinara sauce. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye, Tinnies.